And on the eighth day, Carroll and Schneider said, let there be really underwhelming and mediocre offensive line depth. How's it going, everybody? We made a move pretty darn late today, later than any move we've made so far this free agency, I think. And it wasn't exactly a huge one. It wasn't one that I think a lot of people were really amped up for, but it was one that I talked about a little bit in the offseason as something that I think would probably be a pretty decent idea to do. So I'm not necessarily against it. So as of about 15 minutes ago, the Seahawks have agreed to a deal to bring back swing tackle Cedric Ogbuehi, as Mike Garofalo reported. The 28-year-old Ogbuehi started 4 games at right tackle last season while Brandon Shell was hurt. So, as of right now, this having been announced less than half an hour ago, we don't really know anything about this deal other than that it is a deal. We assume it is for 1 year, but we don't know for sure. We assume that it's for a very small amount of money, but we don't know for sure. Now, you guys may remember that when I laid out my dream off season, Cedric O was somebody who I decided would be in our best interest to bring back just to give us a veteran tackle to back up Dwayne Brown and Brandon Shell, because both those guys are honest injury risks if we're being real. Brandon Shell got hurt a couple times last year, and Dwayne Brown is 78 years old or whatever. So we brought back Cedric Ogbuehi, and the first thing a lot of people are going to say about him is, oh, he's terrible. He's awful. Why would you bring him in? You could bring in anybody off the couch, and he would be just as good or better. And I will give you a little bit of it. When I watched Cedric Ogbuehi last year, I saw him do a lot of really bad things, a lot of things that made me really wish he wasn't on this team. And I think there is probably some truth to him just being not a very good player. I remember the Philadelphia game. He was just getting matadored every other snap, absolutely killing our offense in that game. Now, that being said, I am also open to having my eyes just simply not telling the whole story when it comes to an offensive lineman. And Pro Football Focus actually gave him a pretty good grade last year of 65.5. That makes him a quality backup or a low-end starter. So it's possible that my eyes were just telling me one thing when reality it was dictating something else. He played almost 300 snaps and only allowed 1 sack, which as a backup tackle is actually pretty manageable. He had 2 penalties, which is not very good, but it's not a huge problem either. So maybe we're just a little too hard on Cedric Ogbuehi. I don't really know. The more interesting question is, because obviously, no matter, even if you like Cedric Ogbuehi, you know he's not really a good player. Maybe he's a capable backup, but nobody really thinks Cedric Ogbuehi is like this stud in the making or some future great tackle. As of right now, the Seattle Seahawks have Dwayne Brown and Brandon Shell starting at tackle. And their backups at tackle right now would be Cedric Ogbuehi, who can play both sides. He played some left tackle and some right tackle in his career. He played a little bit of left tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals, but he's mostly been a right tackle. So he can play both, in theory. And then you have Jamarco Jones, who is an interesting case because he was listed as a tackle when he was drafted, but we've seen him play tackle and we've seen him play guard. He seems to be a lot more comfortable at guard, so that might be what he needs to be to succeed in the NFL at this point in his career. Just play guard. And then you have Tommy Champion, who knows, right? He's barely played at all in his career in any kind of meaningful action. If we had better backups, better depth on this team at tackle, he would be a practice squatter for sure. But I actually think he may make the roster on this particular team. So are we good at tackle for 2021? Now, I'm not suggesting we're going to be good at tackle for the next 3-4 years, obviously. I'm saying for 2021, the interesting question is this good enough? Dwayne Brown, Brandon Shell on the outsides, backing them up, Cedric Ogbuehi, Jamarco Jones, maybe, and Tommy Champion. Or do we need to bring in one more guy? I'm inclined to believe we should probably draft somebody, but that's a conversation for another time. So anyway, Cedric Ogbuehi is your swing tackles / backup tackle on both sides, I guess, for the 2021 NFL season. Peace out, Go Hawks. See you guys in stream shortly. The moves just keep on coming.